VO3. VO3. What is VO3? An artificial intelligence video generation engine designed for those with taste and breeding. In an era defined by overtly pedestrian digital content, one channel dares to ask the question, what if the Yeti wore a monocle? In this cinematic magnus opus, we present to you a curated selection of vignettes within the realm of theater, comedy, historical reenactments, time travel, and Vore, all submitted by you, the fans. So, sit back and prepare your eyes for a feast of visual delights that are, at minimum, not entirely incomprehensible. Whew, man, I'll tell you what, it is harder to do that voice than you might imagine. By the way, internet historian, please don't come at me for jacking your style. I swear I'll never do it again. I'm a big fan. I just wanted to do it one time, and that's it. I'm done. All right, enough lollygagging. Let's get to the clips. Up first, user Bunny Gibberish requested that we test Veo's ability to produce accurate spoken accents, which might just be my favorite suggestion yet. Also, user BumLifeZay requested that we try to replicate a Martin Scorsese-style movie scene with characters talking in a diner or restaurant. So let's combine these two ideas together. I had Gemini whip up prompts for a cast of characters, each speaking with a different accent. Also, the setting and environment will match the accent in question, as according to a Reddit post I read recently, this will apparently help Veo to pick up on context clues and make the accents more accurate. We'll see about that. So the character with an Italian accent will be in an Italian restaurant, the Irish character will be in an Irish pub, the French character will be in a cafe, the Cajun character will be in a rustic Louisiana diner, and the Jamaican character will be in a casual beachfront restaurant. Now here's the rule. If these characters can do the accent better than me, that's a win. Cast your votes in the comments below, all right? Italian first, here we go.
Let me tell you something. You don't ask a guy like Tony for a favor unless you're ready to owe him twice that back.
That wasn't even an accent. That was the flavored sparkling water of Italian accents. That was nothing. All right, my turn. Hey, let me tell you something. You don't ask a guy like Tony for a favor unless you're ready to owe him twice that back. I think I win by default, but you let me know in the comments what you think. All right, Irish accent up next.
If you think I'm walking home in this rain, you've got more stout than sense.
Okay, this one's a little bit better, especially towards the second half of the sentence. I actually picked up on something that resembled an accent there. Still not very prominent, but better than the Italian one. All right, my turn. If you think I'm walking home in this rain, you've got more stout than sense. I think this guy wins just based on how terrible my Irish accent is, so. Moving on. Our French accent is up next. Let's give this a go.
Love is always, how you say, complicated.
My brother in Christ, you just pronounced every single consonant in that sentence. This is unacceptable. All right, here's my attempt. Love is always, how you say, compliqué. Omelette du fromage. I absolutely win that one, and I don't care what you say in the comments. Up next, our Cajun accent.
Boy, I tell you, you don't go messing around out there after dark.
Honestly, not the worst. I think this might be our strongest accent yet. All right, my turn. Boy, I tell you what. You don't go messing around out there after dark. Get some of that oil on that there shrimp, eh, Bubba? You know what I'm saying? You ever seen the movie Deliverance? I think this one's a toss-up. You tell me. For our final Jamaican accent, I am as white as the driven snow, and I'm not trying to get canceled. So I'm just going to forfeit on this one, but let's see what Veo can do. Now, before I play this, I want to make it absolutely clear that I did not instruct Veo to have the character sing. Here's the prompt. No singing at all. Just the line, "Why are you running?" Because that was the original request, and because I think it's hilarious. Here you go.
Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running?
I'm not even mad, is the thing. Like, it isn't what I was looking for. This is I went out looking for copper and found gold kind of situation, so I'm not even mad. It's fine. So what have we learned? Overall, Veo is apparently pretty terrible at giving specific accents upon request. I think that future testing should stick with one accent for an extended run of prompts to see if we can figure out how to get it to comply. Maybe referencing specific movies or TV shows where that accent is prevalent would do the trick. Hard to say. Up next, user Ryan Dundas wants to see if we can create an opening title sequence for a TV show, combining animated text elements together with footage. So I decided to take the opportunity to make the title sequence for my new true crime TV series called Pane in the Glass. I did 5 different prompts, all of them with a slightly different style and theme, but all using the same title. 2 of the 5 clips apparently ended up being for completely different TV shows. One called Rumeren, and another called Noi Lerlame. I will say though, despite the text screw-ups here, I thought the animation was pretty decent for both of these, especially this one. If we could just get that poll out of the way and translate this into English, we'd have something kind of cool going on here. 3 out of the 5 clips actually had the correct text. For the first one, I went for a film noir feel. Not terrible, you know. For the second one, I wanted more of an over-the-top, violent grindhouse feel. A little goofier than I had hoped for, but okay. For the third and final prompt, I wanted it in the style of a 70s buddy cop show. This one is by far my favorite, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, in all 3 of these, there is some goofy shit going on with the background animation. However, the actual text elements were quite good in all 3 of these. 3 out of 5 is a 60% success rate, which is very good for Veo. For further testing, I would probably look to tone down some of the more superfluous animation and just focus on the quality of the text animation. Up next, users Anthony Ross and GRCHTV and several other folks suggested ways in which we might reattempt the D-Day Normandy Beach prompts from a few videos ago. As was pointed out, there is a ton of video game footage out there depicting the invasion of Normandy Beach and World War II in general. Way more than movie or TV show clips. So it makes sense that without further direction, Veo would default to pulling from video game sources, which is why our last attempt looked like such dog shit. So we're gonna have Gemini inject some keywords into the prompt that will try to force Veo to pull from movies and TV shows. Cinematic realism, war documentary, Saving Private Ryan, and Band of Brothers. We ran this prompt twice, and bingo, bongo, boom, shakalaka were already 20 times better. This is much more like an actual live-action war scene. But now we have some different issues. First, there's just an ungodly number of men clustered together on the beach, just kind of standing together and yelling and shooting in random directions. Secondly, the gunfire looks like they're shooting energy weapons. I'm guessing some Star Wars Battlefront got mixed in here somehow. Lots of stuff to unfuck here. So I went back to Gemini and together we worked on thinning out the clusters of men. And it worked, but we are starting to look a little bit more like a video game here. Also, I'm not sure what these weird, unidentified flying things are. I think they're supposed to be artillery shells. I don't know. I went back to Gemini to try to clean this up, and this time I wanted to attempt a hybrid camera shot. I wanted to start with the same wide aerial, but then dive low into the thick of the fighting. And of course, as is typical with Veo, rather than doing a smooth transition, it did a half-assed cut to black dissolve transition. So what have we learned? Well, For World War II footage, or probably any genre with a ton of related video game content, you will need to target keywords like cinematic realism or name specific movies or TV shows. I would assume that sports footage would probably also apply. Someone test this out and let me know. I'd love to see. Hello there. Are you enjoying this video? Would you like to see more like it? Then please help me quit my job by becoming a member today. For just $1, you can get early access to my videos. And also, this super sweet mustache emoji.
But wait! There's more!
Every single AI prompt I use to make my videos, including the thumbnails, written out so you can copy-paste to your heart's content. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the video. Up next, user Funum would like us to generate a stand-up comic telling a joke, but without specifying the joke, to see if Veo can come up with something funny on its own, which is a fantastic idea. I used the same exact prompt for all of these clips and ran it 6 times. So without further ado, here is the brand new Veo 3 Netflix comedy special.
So I told my wife, you know what, honey, I'm gonna start a band called The Wrinkles. She said, why The Wrinkles? I said, because eventually we're gonna break out. So I told my wife, I said, honey, I'm thinking of joining a gym. She said, that's great, where is it? I said, I haven't decided yet, but it's somewhere I can park.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So those two weren't even jokes, really, or I just didn't get them. But it does get better from here on out.
So I told my wife, you should embrace your mistakes. She hugged me. So I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised.
All right, so those were both pretty good, I will admit. But now, this is where stuff starts to get weird.
So I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised. So I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised.
Guys, I swear to Christ, I did not change the prompt. I did not request a specific joke. It just started repeating itself. I kind of wanted to keep going to see if it would just keep repeating, but I was already over budget with 6 clips, so I couldn't do it. So what have we learned? Well, we've already seen from previous videos that Veo is capable of improvising lines, like in the French Revolution Zoom meeting. But I didn't expect the pool of jokes to be so limited. Every single joke started with, so I told my wife. And the fact that it started repeating itself, I have no idea what to make of that. I think the fact that Veo was able to improvise a halfway funny joke is a partial success, but further testing is definitely needed. Up next, user Vieta. User Vieta requested that we attempt another reflection test, this time with better lighting and multiple people in the shot. So a little more difficult than the pond reflection we tried last time. My first attempt was borked because the mirror was too small, but there's also too many people here, and it looks like this one is a vampire. For the next attempt, I kept the instructions largely the same, but made the entire wall a mirror. Unfortunately, this time the people are not completely in the shot, but we can see enough to know that their reflections are facing the wrong way, and also we have some weird floating head action going on here. I don't know what that's all about. For the next prompt, I specified that the people are in the shot and that they should wave towards their reflections in the mirror. At first, I thought this was a success, but then I realized that the person in red only waves one hand. For the final prompt, I figured, what the hell, we're 0-4, we might as well have some fun with it. I told Veo to make the people do jumping jacks. And this one actually seems accurate, which genuinely pisses me off. You're telling me that Veo can't show 2 people standing in place correctly, but it can show 3 people doing jumping jacks? What the hell is this even? So what have we learned? Well, if you need accurate reflections, just have your characters do jumping jacks. Apparently. I have no idea. For the following series of suggestions and clips, I didn't really have too much to say about them. They were either largely successful or largely failures, but I still wanted to include them so that the folks who made the suggestions could see the results. User Video Online-ish requested that we test Veo on its ability to portray historical scenes but without giving specific instructions beyond the date and location. And Veo largely succeeded at this. For the first 2 clips, I had Veo portray Berlin, Germany circa 1905, and it did pretty great, other than this one carriage throwing sparks for some reason.
She's gonna blow!
And the next one also looked pretty good, except for this one guy wearing what looks like a Mega Koopa shell on his head. I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not right. For the next prompt, we did 1920s Chicago, which was not bad except for these two dudes right here walking arm in arm. Like, okay, I'm not homophobic, but all of these fucking people definitely were. China and India from the 1800s both look pretty good as well. Nothing too remarkable here, but everything looks pretty appropriate for the setting. Again, I'm not an expert, so you tell me what it got wrong. Overall, this test performed pretty well. Minus some weird stuff, I'd give it a solid 70%. Up next, user Cincinnati? I don't know. Okay. User Cincinnati provided a prompt depicting a young man in a 16th century Paris holding up a cell phone, to which everyone else reacts with horror. And I wasn't sure exactly what the end result was supposed to look like, so I'll just let the clips play out here.
Regardez ça, mes amis. C'est Paris. Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette sorcellerie?
Regardez. C'est le diable.
Well, there you go. I hope that was good for you, because it was good for me. Up next, user JJR Bikes provided a prompt of a man on a mountain bike doing stunts like they do in Red Bull commercials. Spoilers, it did not go well. Yeah, so Veo cannot handle complicated movement like this. It reminds me of the Rubik's Cube test from the last video. Still, this was a lot of fun to watch, so thank you for the suggestion. Up next, user Rogue Cell Pictures provided an insanely detailed prompt of me, or at least my avatar version of me, walking towards the camera and speaking a single line. And here are the results.
Haven't you subscribed yet? Haven't you subscribed yet? Haven't you subscribed yet? Haven't you subscribed yet?
Yeah, this is pretty goddamn consistent. Honestly, I was really impressed at the level of similarity between these different clips. So, what have we learned? Well, when it comes to prompts, as with so many other things in life, size really does matter. Ladies. Up next, user Analinus,
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
Brings us tales of a weird way of glitching out VO3 through the use of a very specific phrase, morning paper flies. So I think the idea here is that if you were to describe a scene with, say, a paper delivery boy throwing a paper onto a front porch, but include the phrase, the morning paper flies through the air, apparently the AI has no idea what to make of this and would show a giant fly reading a newspaper or something. I tried out a whole series of prompts that all contained the line, morning paper flies, but nothing really weird happened, other than some weird physics with the newspaper. With each successive prompt, I removed more and more of the fluff and context around the phrase, but still nothing really unusual happened. Even just the phrase morning paper flies was, I don't know, whatever this is. Now, at this point, I'll admit I got bored, so I tried copy-pasting the phrase morning paper flies like 50 times, and then this happened.
Morning paper flies.
So, what have we learned? Well, apparently repeating the phrase morning paper flies a whole bunch turns the clip into a music video about a boy that can manifest newspapers from thin air.
You're a wizard, Harry.
But other than that, it would appear that this particular bug has been patched. For our final suggestion, user Chuck O. Vitals, who is a dirty, nasty, naughty boy, requested that we attempt some Vore content. Oh, apparently some people have a kink called Vore, but I don't know anything about that. Oh. Hey man, no judgment here. I mess around with some weird stuff too. Your mom is an absolute freak, let me tell you. I'm just kidding, she's a lovely woman. Anyway, I tried a whole series of clips where some large thing eats some other smaller thing, and not a single one of them worked. I got pretty close with this one clip of a dragon eating a goblin, so I doubled down and tried that one a few more times, and it just would not show it. So yes, I think we can confirm that there is a Vore filter. The kink community suffers yet another indignity at the hands of society. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. That is the last of the Veo 3 user prompts that you lovely people suggested. What's going to be super great is when any day now they come out with Veo 4 or some other competing product with native speech comes out, and it renders all of this work completely useless and obsolete. But hey, it got me over the finish line for monetization, so I'm not complaining. Speaking of, I have officially crossed the $125 threshold and made back all of the money that I spent on Veo 3. I'll tell you what, Google has the worst and most convoluted refund system I have ever seen before. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone for supporting me through this. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do now, but it will definitely be AI video and or film related. If you enjoy the work that I'm doing here, please consider signing up for a membership. It costs $1. And for that, you get early access to my videos and all of the AI prompts that I use, including the thumbnails, written out so that you can copy-paste them directly into the AI software of your choosing. A lot easier than copying them manually from the screen. Anyway, gang, appreciate all of you. Thanks very much, and I'll see y'all next time.